Welcome to We Are the City. This is a series of inspirational videos where we've asked some of the city's most senior women to share their inspirational stories with you. We hope by watching these clips you will feel motivated enough to go on and live your own career dreams. We really hope you enjoy what we have to share for you, and once again thank you for being members of We Are the City.
The reason behind these videos is to inspire more women to take up careers here in the city. So let's get started.
What I am is I'm a networking expert, which means I help people with their careers, I help them find new business, and I also help with internal dynamics. So when people are looking at breaking down silos or changing cultures or bringing in a more sharing culture, then I tend to do that as well.
And you've got a book out, I believe.
I've got a new book being published in the new year, which the draft title is called Personal and Professional Networking. It's all about career success. So it's looking at all the dynamics of networking and how you can apply that to your career so you become a lot more successful.
And with what you do you think that networking is important across all the industries, or is it quite specific to the city?
I think the reason why networking is really important, no matter what your profession is and what it is that your ambition is, or the sector you work in, or the job that you hold, the reason why it's such a critical skill is because it doesn't matter what it is that you're looking for, whether it's resources or a mentor or knowledge or contacts. Networking as a skill set and as a marketing tool will always help you throughout your whole career, which is why I think it's so important for anyone who wants to develop their profile or their career or their leadership or whatever your heart wants is what networking can do for you.
And I mean, I think there's been an age-old stigma in the past about networking and not giving away too much because you've got to kind of hold it to the chest. Is that changing now? Do you think people are just quite open to talk? And
yeah, I think the culture has changed quite a lot over the last 10 years, certainly. When before people tried to keep everything to themselves, but nowadays there's much more sharing and collaboration. I think the surge of people becoming self-employed, leaving the corporates and becoming self-employed, has also helped to change cultures. And most people nowadays, when they meet you, the conversation is quite free-flowing, and then within that there's normally that bit that says, oh, I know somebody that you need to meet, and that's much more readily available nowadays than it ever used to be.
so what advice would you give to We Are the City viewers that are watching this and they're kind of a little bit lost? What would be one of your things that you would say to them?
What I would sort of say is that there's probably 2 or 3 things that would be relevant to anyone who's looking to develop their careers, and We Are the City is a great portal for that, to find all that information. So one of the first things would be your mindset, is to think about how you see networking and whether or not is that mindset really working for you. It's about being clear about your style, your approach, the way you want to do it, that's authentic and right for you. The next thing is have a plan. You can waste a huge amount of time dashing around from this, that and the other, and it just doesn't work actually. So the thing is to have a plan based on what you want networking to do for you, will show you where you should be networking and who you want to be talking to. Now, of course, once you know who you want to talk to, then you need to know what's the brand, what's the message, what is it you want to say, how do you want to show up, and that's really important you work that out before you get going. And then the last part would be around the follow-up, because it's all very well you and I meeting, but then what happens afterwards? So it's how do you formulate a process to stay in touch with people? What sort of value can you bring, and how does that enhance your brand? So all of those 4 things need to crash together in order for it to be successful. So if you get those 4 things in place, that's brilliant. And of course, finally, you need to know how to work a room, because no matter how much some people hate going to events, going to events is an important part. It's not the only bit, but knowing how to work a room is a really good idea.
I mean, I think going up to a total stranger is what some people perceive networking to be about, but the idea, I guess, is that you grow your network so you know someone in the room who will then introduce you to someone else in the room. Yeah,
so the networking part is partly going to events, and which means you've got to go and meet strangers. And the key thing here is just get on with it, don't sort of hold back. And I know it's frightfully scary, but if you sort of think of the long term, the bigger picture, this is just a moment in your life, and if you get up there in a bit of confidence, a bit of bravado, you know, and just sort of stick out your hand and just go, hello, who are you? And ask a few questions. It's absolutely fine. However, the thing is then once you start build your networks a bit more, do lots more one-to-one stuff, you know, teas and coffees, dinners, lunches, whatever. But get out and meet people on a more individual basis, because that's the real secret of networking, is that whilst you can meet people at events, the relationship comes afterwards. So at events, it just starts the journey. The one-to-one stuff and the follow-ups is what continues the journey for you.
So I guess to get to the point where you've got in your career now, you must have faced a million challenges. What would you say would be your bit of advice to get over them? You're presented with a wall. How do you get over that?
I think whenever you get challenges in your career, because you go into it, it's inevitable, and we all do that. I think the main thing is that when you've got a network, is that is also a support group for you. I mean, as a quick example, back in '98, I was sacked from my job. I mean, horror upon horror, because my face didn't fit, and that happens to a lot of people. And I didn't have a support network around me at all, and it was awful. It was a terrible experience. Then fast forward that to last year, when I got cancer, and I had so many people come around and support me and look after me, and some of them are clients and people that I've met in the city, but they've all just rallied around. So the difference is that if you just volunteer yourself to meet people, it's astounding what will happen to you when you go through your challenges, because there will be the support network there for you.
Lovely. And if you could just give one piece of advice to people that are watching this and are kind of a little bit clueless in terms of what they want to do, what are the basic principles of getting to the next level?
I personally think it's about getting out there.
Okay.
I know that a lot of people would want to be much more prepared, and I respect that. However, until you get out there and start talking to people, you just don't quite know what people are looking for, the angles that are involved, the nuances on how to present not just your CV but yourself. So I always sort of think, get out there, meet people, start off with those you know, and then work up to those that you don't know. Build your confidence, build your courage up. And that to me is probably one of the most important things that I would say to anyone. Do that first. Then you can backfill with your CV, do your LinkedIn, update your Facebooks and whatever other mediums you want to use. But you won't know what to say until you've talked to some people and they've told you.
Communication.
Yeah.
It's the key.
Totally.
Lovely. Thank you very much.